What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Gmod's World Podcast. And today we're going to be talking about the MVP of the National Football League 2024 to 2025. A lot of you guys have been asking about my opinion on this, right? And all we have is opinions. Even like the major sports broadcasters, all they have are opinions, all right? Because when you look at the fact that the MVP is supposed to be obviously the most valuable player, we have to start to evaluate that and what that means, right? When we look at Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, how good would they be without him? I know that you guys are going to say, they got a good defense, they got Derrick Henry, all of that stuff. Like, we saw Derrick Henry on a trash Titans team, right? When you didn't have other things around him. So you can't say that Derrick Henry would have the team in the same position, right? So let's take away Lamar Jackson. You got Derrick Henry, you got that great defense, and, what else do you really have? You got Harbaugh, who some people are saying that John doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Like in certain cases with coaching and some of the losses that they took, people are very opinionated about him. So once you take away Lamar Jackson, okay, it doesn't matter about the defense. It doesn't matter about the offensive line, the tight ends, all that stuff like that. You take away a dynamic piece of an offense that otherwise would not be doing the same things. And that's guaranteed. Like, if you take Lamar Jackson, I understand that the guy will come up short. I know a lot of you guys have him in parlays where you only need him to throw for 200 yards. I've heard the stories. You guys rage about it. I get it, bro. I understand. But take him off that team, and the Baltimore Ravens are barely 500. And I'm like, that's just guaranteed, bro. You can say whatever you want about coaching and defense and all that stuff. You need spectacular players. You need all-star dudes that can go out there and make plays. Lamar Jackson is that. He has just not been able to come up big in the playoffs, but he's a great player. Let's just leave it like that. We go over to Josh Allen, okay? Now, what's wrong with Josh Allen? Josh Allen has a lot of issues, right? Because no matter what happens, he can be a star. The same thing that Lamar has, like, as far as it goes in the regular season and then you go to the playoffs, with the exception of what happened with Diggs last year, I do believe, okay, that whichever Diggs that was it Stephon Diggs, whatever Diggs it was, bro. I know Trayvon is his brother, whatever Diggs, like, you guys are digging it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to dig what I'm about to say. That pass that he threw, that deep pass that Stephon Diggs dropped, 100% on Stephon Diggs. I know you don't got to be a Bills fan. You're going to agree with me with that. I watched that game live and I was tweeting about it live. That drop should have never happened. If you are an all-star receiver, that drop never happens. The Bills go on, they probably win the Super Bowl. Okay, most likely, like, you're riding high. That could have happened. So we can't really blame Josh Allen. The other play that he made that was bad last year was when Chris Jones got in his face, it was under pressure, and he threw like a really, the guy was wide open, he just overthrew it. Those things are going to happen. Defensive players make great plays. But other than that, is Josh Allen really a guy that is going to take them to the next level? Let's go ahead and figure out how him not being on the Bills would evaluate the same way as Lamar Jackson. I'm not sure in that division if it really, of course it matters. Josh Allen is a great player, but I do believe with that AFC East, they kind of suck, dude. Like, if we're being honest about it, like, if you just look at the division by division, you kind of look at it and you kind of say to yourself, you know what? I don't know. It's like the Bills would still be in the mix type thing. If you guys get what I'm saying, I'm not saying they would have the same record. Obviously, that's ridiculous. Saying they would have the same record, but I still think they could be successful and make a playoff push. The Ravens are not doing that. They're not. In the North, AFC North, they're not doing that. I don't care what any of you guys say. Like, they're not doing that without Lamar Jackson. So that is also another issue. The Patriots suck. The Jets suck. Like, Miami, like, I don't know what they're doing. Doesn't matter. Nobody's losing to Tua. Like, let's just keep it out in the open, dude. Like, Tua had 18 concussions in 3 minutes, bro. Like, that dude right there, when it comes down to it, we don't got to worry about him winning. All right, let's just be clear with that. Now, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be one of the most underrated dudes that we could talk about. And the problem is, I know a lot of you guys believe that the refs have saved them. It's been like, every time something could go wrong for the other team, it does. The NFL needs to investigate the referees. I get all this stuff, right? The one thing that I don't get, though, consistently, is the fact that this young man, Patrick Mahomes, just makes plays. He makes plays. You don't got to like him. You know what I'm saying, bro? But you got to respect the fact that he makes plays. Like, again, he'll go into a game, have no touchdowns, but a key third down play, right? Where it just changes the game because the running game was going and Andy Reid had a different game plan. Whatever the weather conditions were, it doesn't really matter. He's just going to make a play when it matters the most. And yes, he does get lucky a lot. And there have been questionable things that the refs have done. I'm not taking that away from anyone that's saying that. The refs have actually been kind of outrageous. In some cases, kind of OP with the ridiculousness. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and act like, I didn't watch the games where the refs are literally running around like Ray Charles, bro, when it comes to the Chiefs. But you cannot take away from his greatness. You just can't. Like, I don't, dude, it is what it is. Like, if you're going to try to say Lamar Jackson sucks because he doesn't have a ring, let's take a look at what's going on with the players that are active right now. Mahomes, 3. Aaron Rodgers, he sucks. And the one ring that he has, he shouldn't have really gotten. That was a really like walk-up type, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like that Super Bowl was really, really lucky. The more that I look about, we look back at it, you're like, that dude just got everything, like it was just going for him, bro. But then he couldn't win when he was the number 1 seed several times with Green Bay. We're not gonna talk about Rodgers. He aggravates my flesh. Flacco, that Ravens Super Bowl, that made him extra rich. After that, I don't know what he was doing. Like, I gotta be honest with you, bro. It's like, I don't know exactly what he was doing after that, but he was doing something. Like, who knows what he was doing? I can't tell you. You got Matthew Stafford. I don't know. I got to take a thorough look at it. A lot of you guys might say, Aaron Donald had a lot to do with it, whatever. He was going crazy. But honestly, Stafford did make plays, and he's been impressive this year as well. You can't take that, you can't take it away from him. Russell Wilson with 1 as well. Now, we all know the Legion of Boom with Seattle was the driving force behind everything. But let's just say this. They should have 2. They should actually have 2 rings. And we all know we don't need to go into what the Patriots did. We don't got to go to the fact that he threw a slant when he shouldn't have been throwing a slant. We don't got to go into that. Like, all I got to tell you is that, he should have 2. Everybody else, like Burrow, Allen, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You see what I'm saying? Like, the competition is not the same. You remember when Peyton Manning was always trash to us, and we knew he wasn't trash because of his numbers, but he didn't have a ring? He finally got over the hump. He beat Tom Brady, and then he won a Super Bowl. Then he went and did it with the Denver Broncos. This is the thing, right? Lamar Jackson's window, although we view it as if it's closing, it's not really that close yet. He's a young man. The problem is, his athleticism. Because I know if he wasn't as athletic, none of this would be happening. What is it, a couple days ago? Was it yesterday? Like, dude, I don't even know when it was. When he was just jogging past the Texans defense, he was literally jogging and going at 21 miles per hour. If the dude loses his athleticism, he may not obviously be the same player. So I can see why some critics are saying that he doesn't have a lot of time. But I think he's still young enough to get it done. The problem is this, right? If this man goes back to the playoffs this year, and he doesn't get it done again, it's sort of like, all right, he's just winning MVPs. You know what I'm saying? If they were to give him the MVP. Because if you look at the numbers, you can't say that he's not MVP worthy. With all the information that I'm giving you guys, those are the 3 guys that come to mind when I hear MVP. Like, who's the MVP? Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. And I've given you guys dude, I don't know what else to say. Honestly, numbers-wise, Patrick Mahomes should not be in the conversation. It's just the fact that they got 1 loss, and the dude is just doing whatever he wants, and it doesn't matter what they put in front of him. He always comes up with the victory for the most part. That's literally all that it is. Everything else that surrounds this is all crazy, and you're just picking favorites. But me, I look at the game. It doesn't matter. Like, if Lamar Jackson goes into the playoffs this year and stinks it up, look, I'm done with him. I'm good saying that the dude is just like not a playoff, caliber quarterback. And okay, look, he'll win you guys regular season games, Baltimore, and that'll be it. All right, Josh Allen, he's had several chances to go far in the playoffs and just couldn't get it done. All right, and then obviously we go back to the all-reliable Patrick Mahomes. If the Kansas City Chiefs wins the Super Bowl this year, it becomes a situation where it's like, it doesn't even really matter who's getting MVP anymore. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. You guys remember back when Jordan was playing? Michael Jordan could have won the MVP every single season, but the league couldn't do that. So they had to find other dudes to give it to. But theoretically speaking, with every season that they won a championship, Michael Jordan was the MVP of the league. And even with the years that he didn't win, the stuff he was doing was ridiculous. But they had to go and give it to someone else. All I'm saying is this. You guys are asking me about the MVP. In my opinion, right, numbers-wise, it's a clear-cut Lamar Jackson. But for the most value to the team, Patrick Mahomes. And that's all I got for you guys, man. Hopefully you guys have a blessed day. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.